Its sleek and innovative design is like no other, and there is no other machine that made a historic splash in its industry like the...
Didn't know what to call it, so he just called it Zamboni.
His last name?
His last name.
Zamboni.
My name is Robbie Coos, and my grandfather-in-law is Frank J. Zamboni, the inventor of the Zamboni ice machine.
Robbie Coos, who owns the Glacier Ice Arena here in Grand Junction?
My husband and his family have had this ice rinks in their blood since they were born. So.
You see, Frank J. had his own ice skating rink back in 1940, and he said it was taking too long for people to smooth the ice.
Frank J. was...
Time is a funny thing.
Full name is Victor Stanton Roberts, and I am now 93 years old.
You can't stop it.
My name is Dorothy Jane Bond Roberts, and I am 91 years old.
But you can't have timeless memories.
Well, we met at Fruita High School back in 1941.
Anyway, it was fun. I'd never gone to one of those before.
It was a date to remember in more ways than one.
Our first date was, we were out at the Walker Field, which is now the airport, of course, and they were having a destruction derby out there.
You know, where cars crash into each other, and then it happened.
Oh, in about the middle of the derby, they announced that Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor, and all daily Sentinel carriers to report to the Sentinel to deliver an extra.
And they made this big announcement that Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor. Oh, my word.
You see, Stan and Dorothy's first date here in Mesa County was December 7th, 1941.
So, of course, I said, oh, I'll go with you. I'll help you.
It's 10 now, so...
Now it's Terry's turn to go one-on-one.
May she live a long and happy life.
Some canines not so copacetic with the concept.
Should I bless him from afar? Or we'll just do like a thing like we did that. Gracious God, we just ask your spirit of calmness for this animal. May his anxiety be reduced, and may he feel the love that surrounds.
And even if a name lends itself to an attitude...
Snarls Barkley, yes. Lord, we ask that you continue to help this animal overcome his fear of strangers.
But the prayer is still the same, hopeful, so it's photo ops and fellowship.
You know, there's nothing we can't do as a species if we have hope.
And maybe just a little unconditional love can go a long way.
If I had a proverb, it would be, treat all animals as though they were your brothers and sisters, because they are.
So in God's world, and right here on the Western Slope, there's always time to pause.
May the veterinarians who are dealing with her find any problems and deal with them swiftly. We ask this in your name. Amen.
For a blessing. And that's the Allgood News. I'm Dave Allgood.
For almost 10 years, a group here in the Grand Valley has quietly been lending symbols of support to disabled and wounded veterans.
Yeah, because we all need someone and something to lean on every now and then. And I got a chance to talk to some folks who work with the Eagle Cane Project. Check it out.
It's sometimes the simplest of gestures.
The cane itself was turned by a wood turner on his lathe.
That can mean so much.
He has done it with dedication.
By men who recognize.
With love of his country and with all the love he can put into that cane.
The veterans who molded and shaped our country with the shavings of sacrifice.
The eagle head has been carved by hand by a loving wood carver.
The pain, the wounds, and the memories always fresh.
So when you see one of these canes, please thank the veteran who is carrying it.
And on this night in a cramped room of a local church,
Butch, we present this cane to you with our love, appreciation for your service, and unfaithful gratitude to this country. We thank you very much.
A cane.
The 60th Annual Grammy Awards are coming up this Sunday, right here on CBS.
Yes, and Jen, did you know the Grammys are made right here in Colorado?
How do you know that?
Because I talked to the guy who made them. Yep, John Billings, amazing man. He's called the Grammy Man, and he lives and works out of Ridgeway.
At the base of the San Juan Mountains, music mastery is quietly being molded. In the mini mecca of the recording industry, Ridgeway, Colorado, the quaint Colorado town outside of Telluride, full of cool cats.
I came to Ridgeway in 1990 and just immediately fell in love with it.
John Billings works behind the door of what could be any building.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, music has been big part of my life.
That might be the understatement of the millennium. John Billings, he's an artist.
I am a mold maker by trade, a master mold maker. I'm one of, I think, 3 left in the country.
And those skills, very much in demand.
I just made a mold for Elon Musk. It's a model of the Dragon V2 space capsule.
But it's his design of this that John Billings is most famous for.
I am the maker of the Grammy Awards.
Yep, those coveted gramophones.
We call them stunt Grammys. These are the ones that are handed out on stage. So these are ready to go to New York.
Stunt Grammys? You bet. The ones you see on stage, they don't have a name on them.
After the show, I will get the list of winners and start the engraving process.
And as you might imagine, those stunt Grammys, they get a little grimy.
So when we get them back, we have to clean them up, wipe off the tears and the fingerprints, and then get them ready for next year's show.
John's shop is a regular Smithsonian institution of Grammys. They're scattered around like collector plates at Grandma's house. Heroes and at least one zero duo.
350 Grammys this year. There's 120 of them that are boxed and serial numbered. Once we've got the 350, we'll drive them out to California.
Why drive?
It is tradition, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people remember when the Oscars turned up missing and they were stolen off a loading dock.
And the Grammy making process? Yeah. John gave me the tour.
This is the base of the Grammy, and in here they're painted.
And this is where the magic happens.
This is the pot that we melted in. It'll melt at 650 degrees.
That would be Grammy gravy, and this Grammy splat is now wall art. The shop may be a bit snug, but
it's functional. It's very functional. It's chaotic.
Well, they say art is the triumph over chaos, and for more than 40 years,
it's always evolving.
I was certified as a glass blower. I went back to Austin, and they still wouldn't hire me. Nobody would hire me because of my disability.
But the fire had been lit, and it was
just passion. I hate when somebody tells me no. You can't do this, you can't do that. I can bend it, shape it up where I want.
Today you can catch Paul Cruz in his workshop.
It's around 2,000 degrees.
Doing the impossible, bending glass.
When you work with it, you need to kind of dance with it. Got to be gentle with it. If you start getting rough with the glass, it's going to start breaking on you. You'll never be able to do anything.
So for 40 years, Paul has been doing what everybody told him he couldn't.
I've done over 20 art pieces for bands, from the Temptations to America, Three Dog Night, did some for Merle Haggard.
Paul likes to take what nobody wanted and make it come alive.
This was so beat up, I couldn't get in there to do anything. To accent all the bullet holes, I put red neon inside here.
And now it's alive.
Prove it to yourself that you're more than what you think you are.
Because our dreams aren't disposable.
And as soon as I walk through these doors, it's like I'm transported to the magical spot.
And just maybe dreams are what reality should be.
For me, that's worth $1 million. I think I'm so rich in friends.
So maybe it's not how you get to that dream. Maybe it's just that you didn't give up, and that's just the right light for Paul.
Love neon. I could talk about neon all day.
Neon dreams. That's the Allgood News. I'm Dave Allgood. Fella, that's Coro. He's been with the family for...
We've had him for about 16, 17 years. We got him in around 2001, 2002. Adopted him from a dog rescue in Sacramento.
He's Jason's buddy. And oh, sure, Coro looks just like any other older dog. Happy, content, and...
He's had quite an eventful life. He's been in 3 or 4 different states, lived in like 5 different cities.
Eventful might be an understatement, but old Coro here, he gets around. Oh, sure, he's got a little hitch in his get-up, but the kids, they just love him.
He is so kissable. I like everything about him.
And what's not to love?
They love playing with him and snuggling, mostly snuggles.
And by the way, Koro in Japanese
means roller in Japanese, so it's kind of ironic that he ended up in a wheelchair.
That's right, a wheelchair, but soon you realize there's nothing common at all about old Koro.
Lost his eye, like we adopted him, missing an eye, and then he got paralyzed in 2008.
He had a slipped disc, but the wonderful thing about old Koro, he doesn't know he's paralyzed.
He's my best friend. I love this guy. He's been through a lot, like I said, my military career. And
Koro wasn't always 18 years old. Just look at this young fella. Swimming, running, even elfing. And that other dog in the picture, that's Chewy, his brother. Jason adopted them together almost 2 decades ago. Sadly, Chewy passed away.
I put him down last Christmas, unfortunately. That was his lifelong bestie who had done all these travels with him, and
Coro was sad for a
I
while.
think he was kind of depressed for a while because of it, but he's used to it now, I guess.
Well, you never get used to loss, but Coro, like his name, he keeps rolling along.
Oh, and just like Ren said, Kodo, he is kissable and an inspiration. I think the new word for inspiration should be Kodo.
So I'd say he's an inspiration. He's a good dog.
Innocent, loving, and never giving up. Maybe we all have a lot to learn from little Coro.
He gives people an appreciation for what they have. You know, if he can be this happy being paralyzed and missing an eye and stuff, they should be happy too.
It's not what we don't have, but what we do.
He's my stress relief at the end of the day. I'll come home and cuddle him, and he'll put me in a good mood almost every time.
Man and dog, best friends, friends to the end.
Oh, of course, yeah. He's my best friend. I love this guy.
Unconditional love. That's the Allgood News.
I don't have any treats. They're in the car.
Meat?
Dick Bottinelli, 91 years old.
Do you forget sometimes?
I tried to cheat.
And this is Bella.
Oh yeah, she's the best in the world. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't walk as much, and I probably wouldn't be as old.
I met Dick up here on Little Park Trailhead while I was hiking.
Can't beat it. Can't beat Grand Junction weather.
Just a man and his best friend doing what friends do.
Let's sit on this one over here. It feels good to sit down.
You see, Dick comes up here to walk and get a little perspective.
Go with the flow. That's right.
And things will be okay.
Well, most of the time.
With all that's going on in the world, I like Dick's philosophy.
I don't give that much thought.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, maybe that's why you've lived so long.
I don't worry about those things.
At almost 92, Dick walks more than 2 miles a day with Bella by his side.
Take care of your health. God only gave you one body. You better take care of it.
And make the most of it. You see, it was 1942.
When I was a senior in high school, I was about 5'2" and I weighed about 100 pounds.
But Richard did grow, and he served in the South Pacific in World War II. He lost a lot of friends.
And Tivy joined the Navy but was put in the Marine Corps, and he was killed off of Iwo.
And when you get older, reality, friends, they pass away.
I don't have any of my old friends anymore. I don't know any
God,
of them.
if you're real, show me a sign. And she saw the sign on the vehicle that said prayer works.
Sometimes if you just look around, you might see a sign.
I always see his truck around town, and I always want to stop and see what's going on.
Sometimes the answer's right in front of us.
You know, I saw the sign, prayer works. Right, just a little bit ago I was praying, and I just felt like I could feel the hurts of other people. So there were tears of sadness.
He's a mountain of a man.
My name is Tony Nelson, and I thank God that I've come to understand and know that prayer works.
Who occasionally parks his truck along the side of the road.
I've seen people who've stopped and said they needed prayer for jobs or there were health issues in the family. And
he's not selling anything. Have you seen any miracles?
Ha! Yeah. Yes, I have.
It seems so simple, a sign.
Say things like, I was on my way to kill myself, and then I saw the sign, prayer works, may I pray for you, and stopped.
Tony remembers.
I remember what it was like to be lost. I was a very violent person, rude, crude, extremely socially unacceptable.
Tony started out on a good path.
Was in the Army 4.5 years, nuclear, biological, and chemical specialist.
But he veered away.
They knew I was going to commit an armed robbery, so I could buy a load of drugs.
He got arrested.
That night, sitting on a piece of metal bolted to a cement wall, I asked God to make me his son.
So today, Tony's parked on North Avenue, praying for cars and people like Brandy.
Hello, how are you? Fine, my name is Tony. We thank you and praise you that you will touch this family.
And Fidel.
Lord God, that this man is a man of honor, a man of principle.
So why prayer?
It just feels good. It feels like everything just comes out of you. All the bad stuff going on, all the worry, all the stress, it just feels like it's lifted up.
I guess we all struggle, even with religion.
Let them know when they say they're not religious, and neither am I. I'm relational.
Prayer works, especially when it's more than one person.
Maybe Tony gives back because he doesn't want to go back.
I don't ever want to go back to what I was, because that was a true walking dead.
So believe or not, Tony does, and he's probably prayed for you from the side of the road. And that's the Allgood News. I'm Dave Allgood. Just another day at the gym.
Keep pushing myself, even though sometimes I don't want to. I got it. How's it going, man?
How are you today?
Doing good, brother.
Jacob and people of all shapes and sizes, some pushing their bodies to the limit, others here to stay in shape.
You gotta stay mobile to be mobile in my situation. If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you're gonna do it.
Jacob Gurley thinks a little more about his walk these days, but he's pretty impressive. Push-ups, sit-ups, bench, and some pull-ups.
Biggest thing is attitude. Attitude's everything. How are you gonna take it? How are you gonna perceive it? What are you willing to do?
Attitude. Oh, there's more here than meets the eye.
I am Jacob Gurley, and I have MS.
You see, what Jacob doesn't want you to know is that when he does this,
I just get hot, my vision gets blurry. But
multiple sclerosis is a pretty nasty and progressive disease.
Dealing with MS, it's only a part of you. It's not who you are.
And for Jacob, MS stands for something different.
Man stud is what I say. And you make your own sunshine, is how I look at it.
Jacob does this 6 times a week, even though...
So when I get hot, it's like vertigo. I mean, the floor looks like it's rolling, your depth perception's off, or the best way to put it is you feel intoxicated.
You see, Jacob has to battle his own brain for control of most of his motor functions.
Your balance isn't there, you're swaying, you're moving, and you're just kind of put your hand on something to hold you up, because otherwise you're back and forth.
Jacob, he's been dealing with MS since graduating Central High School not long ago.
It's like, man, my time's up. Now I'm only 19 years old.
And Jacob, he was a pretty good wrestler.
Very, very decorated. Had a great time wrestling overseas.
And MS hasn't stopped him.
I went to Colorado Mesa University. I got a degree in construction technology.
Jacob, he's busy.
Okay, just boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I get up, I go to the gym, I come home, I eat, go to work, get off at 9, eat again, and that's my day.
Are you a quitter?
Never. That's definitely not my vocab by any means.
Jacob may have MS, but MS doesn't have him.
Do all that you can, when you can, love it, cherish it, because the things you thought you hated, you'll never miss them till they're taken away from you.
Good advice.
Write your story, but make it bright.
And that's the Allgood News. I'm Dave Allgood. Jen, it's Friday the 13th.
It seriously is.
Everything, we have James just shocked things and everything went black for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a good electrician around?
I don't know, but I don't want James anywhere near me right now anymore.
He's in the Justice League. All right, it's taken a licking and isn't sticking as much as it used to. The art of stamp collecting, Jen. Did you like that lead-in?
That's what I was laughing at, yeah.
It's being lost with the generation that used to use stamps as much as we use email today, but maybe there's something more to collecting. Check out this story on the Grand Junction Stamp Collectors. Behind the doors of White Star Electric are the steps to electricity. But not the shocking kind.
That's the first postage stamp ever, is the black penny.
The stamping kind.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Everyone here is so friendly.
I need to keep selling, because if I get hit by a health food truck, my wife's gonna kill me. Yeah, that's what it amounts to, because she is not a stamp collector.
But all these people in this room, oh, they are.
Looking for that elusive stamp that I don't have.
The last 5 or 7 years I've gotten into it again, collecting Colorado history and stamps.
You see all this flipping and looking and examining of these little sticky bits of stamp currency? Well, it could be.
It's fun. It's interesting. You learn a lot of stuff.
Fun stuff, like, did you know collecting stamps actually has a name?
Philately.
Say what?
Fatality, or philately. See, now.
Fiddlesticks. No worries, Terry. It is a stamp club, not a spelling bee.
Philately.
Why, even club president Michael Dermody had to check his pen to make sure he was saying...
philately.
Falafel? Wait, what? Can you spell it?
No.
Well, they may not spell it, but they can smell it. Money, that is. And they do enjoy The holidays in small-town America, not always the picturesque postcards we see on TV.
We're all 2 weeks away from being homeless.
I'd say pretty much everybody on my block even is 2 paychecks away from poverty.
Gray skies don't always clear up, and the clouds of financial insecurity, they're always looming.
I really felt alone in that battle, you know, I mean, with the kids and, you know, life and chores and the house falling around me, you know.
Trapped, caught in a perpetual cyclone of poverty.
I went as far as last month to sell my blood to the plasma center just to feed my family.
Sherry, a struggling mom and just trying to be better.
I was an only child, and I pretty much grew up in foster homes.
Why do things happen the way they do? Sherry and her kids live on a fixed income.
When you have $64 to feed your family on for the whole month, there's not a whole lot of going on outside the home.
It's humbling having to go to food banks.
Well, we have to be the first ones there, because if you're not the first or second person there, you don't get the dog food or cat food, which we obviously need. We have critters.
Cujo, he needs food. Kids need food to be kids, and kids, no matter how rich or poor, need a childhood.
If we don't got enough food, like, I'll try to deal with it. Like, I can go without eating for a while, like, because we got free lunches and stuff at school that I can get.
And Christmas when you're poor, it's not joyous at all. It's stressful.
Like, when you go to school, it's about the competition, like who got this and how much they got, and like, it's like really hard because they usually get the better stuff because like they got money and stuff.
Kids having to worry about money and food?
It's definitely feeling like I'm, you know, swirling the drain all the time.
Now, obviously nobody wakes up one day and says, man, I wish I was poor so I could stand in a food line all day just to feed my kids. The reality of all this is sometimes it just happens.
I like Christmas. It's just a little bit harder for us because like we don't usually got a lot of money in it.
Sherry's story is a lot of America's story right now.
Everything that I've done with them, I makes me stronger and them better humans, because they see what I'm willing to do to make sure we survive.
Surviving, is that where we are in America? Son Dakota just wants...
camera. I want to be a YouTuber.
And Sierra?
I don't know.
Maybe she does have one hope for the future.
Money is an issue. Like, I don't know, like it's really difficult because like I don't want to struggle like mom has, and like I want to make it through, like to get somewhere better than.
Is this where what I was going to be when I grew up? I'm supposed to be a good mom and have a good home and take care of it. And I feel blessed by that.
Maybe Sierra sums it up best.
It's complicated.
With the Allgood News, I'm Dave Allgood.